Welcome to the Slamming Door Sessions, a reality creation podcast where we slam the door to anything that is not our ideal. With your amazing hosts, Jay Wow, Kristen M.F. Clark, and authentic Cynthia Sena Serravache. Join us in a radical embodiment of our ideal states.
Hi, everyone. Nice to have you all here. Thanks for tuning in today. It's really nice to have you all gods and goddesses sharing this moment with us. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, comment, and share. And so I am Cynthia, as you already know. If you're new here, well, I am Cynthia. My state is authentic Cynthia. We have Kristen M.F. Clark, which is amazing. She's here. She's MFing Clark.
Yep. No other version.
Yes. And the third host is actually living her godly adventures. Her name is Jay Wow, and she's not physically with us, but she's still with us. We can feel her. She's with us here. And so, yeah, we're getting together to share amazing states, amazing news, amazing everything. So today we can actually start sharing like little nice things that we want to celebrate. And then we have an amazing guest that I will be introducing. So, but before that, let me just ask Kristen, what are you celebrating today?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. How much time are we spending here today?
Let's say 30 seconds so that
30 seconds.
30 seconds so that we can also.
This week has been such a powerful space of manifestations, and I definitely have been sharing them with you. And the funny thing is I get so excited when something wonderful lands in my lap, and then I'm on to the next. So asking me to remember them is always like, what did happen?
Well, what happened in the last 30 minutes, for example?
Oh my gosh. This morning I really woke up, and a lot of what came my way was Abdullah's statement of, I don't remember what it was. It was something akin to, if you're already there, you're not asking how. You're not asking, how do I do it? You're not playing that game of it's coming, because you're already it. And that was the biggest thing I wanted to bring into today's, because that is the basis of the slamming door, is that you fully 100% embody this of your ideal. In fact, I'm even getting to the point to where I don't even like using the word ideal, because if I was already there, I wouldn't be calling it ideal, because ideal kind of makes it sound like, well, here's the non-ideal, and then over here is the good ideal. And, it's just, you are, I am in that house. I am having an outrageous, wild, crazy ass income where I can do whatever I want. I have the most amazing people around me that are always reflecting without prompting from me. They always reflect their ideal. They always reflect that state of just joy and, oh my God, let me tell you what happened. So that's where I'm at right now. But Cynthia, you go.
Yes. So actually, just before coming to do the podcast, I was coming home and I was going to take the bus. And lately, I've been playing with this idea that, the bus is always there when I want it to be. And I think a couple of days ago, I thought, like, the bus is actually there waiting for me, right? And then I didn't think about it again. And so I'm coming home and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to take the bus. And I checked the time to see when it was going to come. And it was going to arrive. It was saying 6 minutes, right? And I would be getting there in between 8 to 10 minutes. So I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. And so I keep going towards the bus stop. And then I realized, oh my God, I forgot my purse in the place where I was before. So I turned around, went back. And so I get my purse and then I check again to see when the bus was coming. And it was still saying 6 minutes. And then so I started saying, oh my God, it is actually waiting for me. And so I started going again to the bus stop. And then I check again, it's still 6 minutes. And then when I am approaching the bus stop, all of a sudden it changed to 4 minutes when I was actually 4 minutes away from the stop. So I was like, oh yes, nice. And so this reminded me this conversation that we were having the other day, not here in the podcast, but we have a conversation where we all discuss as gods and goddesses, like we would do here, but it's a private one. And the other day we were talking about how, well, I was sharing how I see and how I love that life is here to delight me, and how the only purpose of everything that exists is here to please me and to make me happy. And I was just enjoying that, with you in the conversation. And then now I see, yeah, the bus is there to wait for me so that I can come home, relaxed and just to do whatever I want to do. So I don't know, that's what I'm celebrating now. It's just this demonstration that actually creation is here to delight all of us and to please us and to rearrange in whatever way that we prefer. And it doesn't have to be a burning desire that, it's just like, we prefer this thing. And then reality is rushing to rearrange and say, yes, here you go, So yeah, I love that. So
I love
that's
that.
what I'm celebrating.
Oh, that was beautiful. I love what you said about how the bus was just waiting for you, not for it wasn't there for all these other cardboard cutouts that look like the people around you. It was just waiting for you. And you were the God saying, it's going to wait for me. And it's like, okay. It really is. It is this constant remembering that what's going on up here is out there. And you don't have to, I guess so many people are like, oh, but I've never done this before. Start now. Start right now. And everything immediately shifts. It's not like you have to sit here and do this for months and months or years and years or whatever. It's this moment right now. Just smile instead of whatever. And all you have to do is say, well, when I smile, what I want shows up like that. Ta-da! Yeah. It is that you're the operant power, you're infinite intelligence. You, and not the bus, not the people on the bus. You.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yoo-hoo!
And now, so we have a very exciting moment for this podcast because we have our very first guest who is coming to share her idea with us. And so it is my pleasure to introduce her. Kristen, Jay, and a lot of people ask me every day, like, oh my God, Cynthia, how do you do to sing so perfectly? Like, how can you possibly sing so angelically and have this amazing range and have so much control and be like this amazing singer? And I always say there's basically 2 ingredients. So the first one is just my natural and effortless way of always being perfect in everything that I do. And the other ingredient is to be trained by the best vocal coach in the world. And so let me introduce you, the amazing, wonderful, gorgeous, peaceful and grounded creator of music and love, Maiken. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
So I can tell you a little bit about Maiken and then we can let her share. But I just wanted to share that, I've always been impressed like how amazing she is as a songwriter, composer, singer, and God knows how many awards she's won, God knows how many awards she's won. And, God knows. Yeah, exactly.
God knows.
Yeah. And I don't, a Grammy like every single year. And I don't even know where she puts them anymore, because it's like Grammy for the song, Grammy for the songwriting, Grammy for singing. Like, I don't even know what she does with them. So yeah, I've always been so amazed, but like she's bringing home like all this bunch of Grammys, and then I don't know where she puts them. But yeah, so that's a little bit about Maiken from my perspective. But let her share a little bit about herself with us.
Well, thank you very much for such a gracious introduction. Well, I like to think that the creativity and the ideas, they really come from my childhood. It comes from my experience with nature. It comes from my I had such a freedom when I was a child. I had very open parents. Where I grew up on a farm in Norway, on the countryside. I had the forest right outside my window, and I would run around in the forest pretending that I was Pocahontas, and I was touching and singing to the trees, and being like in one with the river. This was my childhood basically. And I had such supportive parents, and my mom was always so encouraging to music. So when I went to her as a child, and we got a piano from a relative of a relative of a relative. Someone had passed away, and there was a piano that nobody wanted, and my parents, of course, they took it. And I said to my mom, I had been touching this piano, I'd been playing around with it, and I said, I want to know how this works. And so she said, okay, we'll get you some piano lessons. So I started playing the piano. I started having singing lessons. I was singing in a choir. I was in theater. And I was so free to explore this at such an early age that already when I was 12, I knew where I was going to study. When I was 16, this was all sorted, So I just just followed the path, and here I am. What can I say?
Yeah, so effortless. I love it.
Yeah. I love it. I love the Pocahontas part. I love that because that was like my favorite song. What is it? Something of the wind.
Colors of the Wind.
Colors of the Wind. Yeah. I totally could see you just embodying that state of somebody so in tune with nature, and listening to have you seen the movie? It's called August Rush.
Oh yeah. The boy, the dancer boy.
Yeah.
Sure.
How he hears,
a long time ago, but
how he hears the music and everything, the traffic and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, I was really lucky to go to Cuba when I was 20, I think, it was in relation to some studies. And I remember one of my teachers that we were going to go there with, he was saying, in Cuba, everybody dances everywhere all the time. They just walk down the street, and if a car has a funny sound, then you will see them dancing along. So we all just had to learn how to dance the salsa. I mean, there was no getting away from that.
Oh, I love that.
And can you say again the name of the movie, Kristen? What is it?
August, like the month, August Rush.
August Rush. Yeah, it sounded familiar. Wasn't it actually based on Maiken's life?
Oh.
I think it was.
Very loosely, because yes, it the ability to just sit down to a piano and just play.
Actually that part was inspired.
Yeah, that natural at such a young age, being a total virtuoso, being a total being able oh, sorry, I thought you were holding something up. Well, and so Maiken, tell us more about this wonderful state of the peaceful, grounded creator of music and love. Tell us more about her.
So this person, this being, this feeling, it's wonderful. It has always been really important to me that along with the ability to create comes, first of all, it comes from a passion. So there's always going to be love there. And gratitude, the importance of gratitude, that when I feel like I'm always giving something back. And I know, like, and I know that many people, I talk to other creators that have experienced the same thing, that it's not something that is mine. It's like I have been granted access to this sacred library of beautiful books and songs and music. And it's like they are all there and we are all it, and it is all ready. But somehow this was granted to me, and it comes to me like a gift. So I feel in a way like this has become I'm like a channel where all of this can come out to the world. So the gratitude of that and the love of sharing it with other people, when it comes from this place of peace, when it comes from this place of, I know that I'm doing the right thing, I know that this is something that needs to be out there in the world, I feel like it's such an important thing, you know, just being here, sharing this, living in this sort of bubble of creativity, you know.
Can I ask you, who is your favorite musician who is currently playing, who is, you know, still
currently
active?
Playing.
Yeah.
Well, she's maybe kind of active, you could say, but my all-time absolute idol, I would say, is Joni Mitchell. She's not necessarily playing live right now, but she is still alive. But of musicians today, musicians that come to mind is Hosier, for example, beautiful singer and writer. Alt J, also very creative music, also very clever lyrics, clever writing, clever music. These two come to mind immediately.
And how does it feel to know that they are your biggest fans, like that they have like such admiration for you, and that they are so grateful for everything that you have created? Like, how does it feel knowing that they are always flooding your social media, or always saying like, oh my God, whenever you release something, they're like, did you see what Maiken released? Like, oh my God, and they're, you know, gushing about you. How does it feel to be so admired by these amazing musicians?
Well, you know what? I admire them too. We admire each other. It is just, this is what we do. We're just, you know, this is what we're all meant to do. So I'm grateful. I love it, but I love them too. So it's just mutual. It's mutual love.
Of course, because equal goddess and gods, they admire each other. So that's
Absolutely
natural. But yeah, so nice.
Absolutely. But you know, like this is the important thing for me to remember, that we are all we have this within us. We are all amazing creators, essentially, at the end of the day. This is what we all do. And I think these people have just, you know, we have the possibility to sort of live our ultimate dream, and they are just showing that it's possible. And it's great to know that, you know, if you have a question about something or an idea, you just send them a message, you know, and you're like, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Kristen,
I love
anything?
that, you know, this music is a theme. So before this started, you guys, I didn't know that I had just been introduced to Maiken, and the fact that she's very involved in music. And this whole week, music has been a very big thing that keeps coming around me. So this is kind of like, yeah, duh, of course. But you know, one of the biggest things I love about music, I adore about music, is when you hear that one song or the two or three those one songs that just snap you out of whatever you're in, and you get it. It is an immediate shift of state of being. It is the easiest way to shift your state from to all of a sudden just rocking out and dancing.
Life is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, that is what. In fact, we even had in one of our other groups, we had one lady who was saying, she goes, you know what? If I'm already everything, if I already have everything, then can we just skip all the lectures and all the memes and all the note taking and just go straight to singing and dancing? And I was like, boom, there it is. And music is the shortcut. It's the fucking shortcut from your crap. You know, it just, I can get in my car and the best song could be going and I will forget whatever it was I was worried about. Not that I do that anymore, but it's still, music can always take me. I can be in the best mood. I can be in the highest, most best mood, and a good song comes on and I go even higher. I'm like, stratosphere. I love that about music, you know? And the coolest thing, Maiken, is that you embody that. You embody that. You embody that shortcut. That, you know, it's just like, just let me come into your area and just light you up. And just by seeing me, you're going to forget all your worries or your troubles, and you're just going to get into a dancing mood, a singing.
Yes. Well, you know, it's really interesting that you say that, because this is what I talk to all of my students about as well. And the importance of just simply listening to the music and just stop the mind chatter and just let it happen. You know, all of this sort of the that keeps going on inside your head, unnecessary. Just listen to the music and listen to the sound that you're creating, and that's all you need to do. And actually, if you think about it, if that's all I need to do and I don't actually have to do anything else, well, how easy is that actually? How chill is that? You don't have to do anything else. You just create sound and listen to the sound that you're making. And if you can stop everything else, easy.
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Upset.
I love it. I love, yeah, it's like mic drop. That was like, okay, guys, see you next week. Thank you.
So my job is done here. Should I go? Well, I think we can go now.
It really, you know, I mean, because that's what we're all searching for. We're searching for those shortcuts. We're searching for the one missing ingredient. And it's like no, it's already in here. It's already in here. Just sing.
Absolutely. Yep.
Just sing and dance.
And that is the whole foundation of my business, actually. The sort of therapeutic approach to singing, but without it being traditional therapy. It's the sort of the shortcut to yourself, in a sense, you know, finding yourself. Like I usually say, in the way that your eyes are the windows to your soul. Well, you know what? The voice is the doorway to all your emotions. And if you can just let that out, then life will be beautiful. Yeah. In simple terms. And then there's, you know, all of the hours that we spend practicing and, you know, just enjoying what we're doing. But at the end of the day, it's basically that. And that is why it's going so well. And that's why students keep coming to me, because we really go deep into that. And if you find that, then music is sort of for me, it's almost like the shell layer. Music actually is the source of creation, essentially, and music is kind of the outfit that you put on it in that context. But it all comes from creation at the center, right? Yeah. So we all just we just embody this sort of, okay, here is a music as a tool to reach what actually is creation, in a sense.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. And you just reminded me of something, because you know, I truly believe that being our authentic selves is the biggest gift for the entire world. Yeah. And hence the authentic Cynthia state. And so every time I see how you work with your clients and how they express authentically who they are through music, and how that is world changing, and how that is transforming for everyone around them in their lives. It's just like this ripple effect that comes from you in this God state, in this goddess of music and love and peace and grounded. And then every one of your clients through music is expressing their authentic selves. And this is really world changing. So I am so grateful to witness that. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much as well. Thank you for seeing that.
What I really love is that you have enormously changed the way therapy is done. You have, there's no more rehashing bad. It's just as simple as come on into my space and let's make some music. And just there's no need to talk about this or talk about that. It's just make the music. Let the music just flow. And through that natural flow of music, healing, but not even healing, because healing again makes it sound like people are broken. It's the natural revealing, like Cynthia said, of the authenticity of the godhood. It just naturally, immediately reveals that simplicity, that ease, that fun, that love. Just by singing, just by even making one note, or just even singing in your mind. You don't even have to make a sound come out. Just do it in your mind. If you're so, if people are worried about, I can't hold a note to save my life. But I love that. I love that the world has been so changed by what is the definition of therapeutic, what is the definition of healing and everything. And it's just that beautiful allowance of the godhood to explode forth just by singing, or just by, like you said, hear the music.
And I think also for me, like my biggest achievement was presence of music in schools.
Yes.
Because today we say, or back in the day, it's very easy for music to be set secondary. The artistic crafts were seen as so unnecessary. We had to know how to do maths and geometry and
slam the door.
Exactly.
Slamming the door on that one. By the way, we didn't warn you. We will slam the door on you. It's
great.
Yeah. Art, music, all those creativities have always been number one. They've always been the first and foremost. And there's always been wonderful offer for those that feel a draw to math and those that feel a draw to the histories and stuff. There's always been those as a secondary offer, but it was the creativity that's from the get-go that has been first and foremost in our schools. And isn't that wonderful? Isn't that amazing? And you made the change for that. You made the huge highlight of how important this was. And everything just shifted because of you, Maiken, because of your creation and who you are. I love it.
And it's interesting that you say maths and how maths is, it'll be interesting for those who are interested in that. It was when they discovered how easily you can actually teach math through music at such a young age that they understood, okay, you know what? Okay, this was the springboard to beginning to understand that, okay, you know what? Maybe we're onto something here. Maybe it's not so crazy as we always thought it was, because music essentially is maths. It is definition of distances, it's counting, it is division, it's everything. And when they understood how important that was, how easily children just pick it up, and they understand in daily life the maths, how it works, then they were like, okay, well, maybe we could try with other things as well.
Did you ever hear of Schoolhouse Rock? I think it was just a US thing. Back in the 70s, we had this thing called Schoolhouse Rock, and it was every Saturday morning as the kids are watching their cartoons. The commercials in between the cartoons were some little jingle, and they were teaching with the jingle. They were teaching math. They were teaching government stuff, like, how does a bill get passed? And it's like, there's this little bill dude with legs, and he's like, I'm just a bill, I'm only a bill. And he had the whole song on how a bill gets passed, through our government. And this is like, this is it was so cool. And what I love is that they've brought that back around. Because Maiken's been like going, hello, people, this is the easiest way to teach math. And they're like, oh yeah, remember Schoolhouse Rock? That was a loss. In fact, here I am, however many years later. I'm like going, how old am I? 50,
unimportant.
50 years later, and I still remember those songs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, and in fact, you can Google, you go on YouTube and put in Schoolhouse Rock, and they'll come up. I know they still have them out there. And it makes learn a language through music. Yeah, I learned, I don't know in language, but I was telling Cynthia, I have a song in Portuguese that I was taught in 4th grade. I still know some of the words.
Yeah.
It's so easy, just through music. And I love this.
It is. I mean, the whole idea for me was that the way that I memorized lyrics, I started with memorizing lyrics, and I always taught this in a way to my students, because if you find musical cues to connect things to, it's just so much easier to remember. And I remembered that, well, okay, what is that? Why is it that musical cues help us remember? And then I remembered that as a child, I was watching every Saturday morning a similar thing, the children's program, and the phone number that you had to call in order to leave a message or whatever, I still remember, still to this day, I remember, 85, 4, 3. It's the same thing. And if you sing this to anybody my age, they're going to be, oh yes, I remember this program. And I'm like, well, this is something, right? There's something to this here. So that's when I started researching, and I thought, okay, yeah, this is interesting. What can we build on this?
Yeah. Ta-da. Oh, I love it.
Ta-da.
Look at the entire world that opens up through music. Entire world that opens up through it. And I love that everybody in this world knows this, that everybody celebrates this constantly. They all know, the governments know, they all know how wondrous the tool of music is. That they're like we're just at the tip of the iceberg at what music can do. And honestly, a friend of mine does toning, so I know you know about toning. And there's a history of long time ago when Hawaii was not just islands, it was Lemuria. There were passages embedded in the rock, think of like Lord of the Rings, where they were opened through a toning. They had special singers that would come in, and through hitting a certain pitch and holding that, the passages would open, the rock walls would open. It's pretty amazing.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Well,
I have a theory that and we can see it's already happening, but I believe with the awareness around music, and with the awareness around the simplicity of this, and with how intelligent our children are growing up to be, the world shifts to a more loving, more in tune place where we are more aware. And one of the reasons music wasn't present in the school was the power wanted us to be separate from them But as we are shifting our awareness around music and shifting our awareness around our minds and our capabilities, suddenly the whole world is shifting, and there is no pyramid anymore. We're all part of the same thing here. And all of this thanks to music, love, and awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. Music, music, music. Just
absolutely.
You know, you think of like the humpback whale, the song of the humpback whale, how I don't think there's anybody who doesn't just stop where they are and listen to that, you know. I don't think there's anybody out there who's like, oh, I can't stand that. You know, I've never ever seen anybody where people, and even the sound of dolphins and stuff, it's so beautiful. And I think Star Trek had a movie where, you know, I don't know if you guys saw that one. It's actually a movie where like some big space thing came down and it was putting out this sound, and it was searching for, and they ultimately found out it was searching for humpbacks. Well, this was a time where humpbacks were extinct. So instead the sound started causing, you know, floods and tornadoes and you know, the destruction of the earth. If they couldn't go back in time and get a freaking humpback whale to answer this machine. And it was actually one of the best ones because it was about the song of the whale. And I think that was Leonard Nimoy's very first directing debut. But it really, you know, I'm very fortunate that I work also here on this property. I get to do lots of landscaping. I love it. And I'm just out there with the birds. And the chickadees are probably one of my most favorite. I love listening to them. I whistle back to them. And one of the coolest things about chickadees is they go chickadee dee dee. And the more D's they add, the more of a warning it is. So when I would be out backpacking with just me and my dog and, you know, for however many days, if I heard a chickadee going chickadee dee 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 dee, I knew to just like stop and look around. And, you know, they were my little alarm. And it's just the amazingness of sound, you know. When you think of a heartbeat, you know, the heartbeat, it doesn't stop just because, you know, if you can hear somebody's heartbeat, it doesn't stop right there. It continues to go out for infinity. That heartbeat, each sound we're making here, it doesn't stop. It doesn't ever fade away just because you can't hear it. It continues to go out and out like a ripple. And
well, sound is essentially vibration, right? And we are constant vibrating beings. All of our atoms, the neurons, the electrons, and everything that we are made of, they are constantly moving and constantly vibrating and constantly sending out actually sound. So we are sound.
Yeah.
We are music. There's a reason why the sounds of nature, like the moving trees behind you, right? There's a reason why when you go out and you just hear the wind whistling through the leaves, it just feels so natural to you. When you hear a natural singing voice, rather than something that has been worked too much through a computer, it feels more, it makes you feel something different than when you hear a computerized sound. There's a reason why we love the crashing of the ocean, because we're actually a part of the whole system of vibrations and sound waves. We are just sound, essentially, packed into a meat body.
Packed into a meatball. Laughing babies. Laughing babies, my absolute favorite.
Yeah. I mean, completely amazing. The most genuine laugh you can find. Yeah. It's just a baby that has absolutely no filter, just that's funny.
Yeah. It's nice that you say no filter, because actually that's kind of the impression when I hear like a baby really laughing like hard. It's like, wow, you're having fun.
Yeah. That's also what I say to my students, that, you know, when we're learning, we have to remember that we are essentially doing what babies would have been doing for hours of their life. We are learning. So if when a baby falls down, if it didn't come back up again, if it didn't know how to just stand up without any other thought process, we as humans would never walk. So just get up again. Making mistakes and falling down is a completely natural part of the process, right? And essentially you realize that it's not a mistake. It's just a part of learning. And it's actually creativity as well. So many ideas happened on, accident, intentional accident, maybe.
And I love it because it's true that there's never a mistake. It's just an exploration. Like, oh, look at this. This is interesting. And oh, look at this. This is interesting.
It's all in the mind.
And sometimes things, you just prefer something, maybe here in the kind of music that we enjoy hearing this note. It sounds nice, but in other countries and in other cultures, their notes and what they call music and what they call, that's your own key and all of that is completely different. And it's not better or worse. It's just another preference. So there's never a mistake. It's just like, oh, look at this. It's just interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And if you look at folk music from around the world, even though it has at one point or another, there is the development of instruments, which is different from place to place because we have different nature, different animals, different things that we would have made or designed our instruments from. But prior to that, all of the instruments that are basically based on natural things and the voice, they have so many things in common. They have this sort of off tonality everywhere. If you look at folk music, especially around Europe, it's all based on the same thing. And then if you go a little bit deeper into African culture, of course, Africa is a huge continent, so there's a lot of music to take out of just one continent. But if you look at the music that comes from different places in the world as well, and you go a little bit further down into the roots of the music, it all links together. And you see that we are all actually coming from the same thing. And everything else is just additional fluff.
I love it. Like the expression of oneness.
What do you feel that original is?
I believe we were more in tune with the nature's source of creation, or the godlike entity, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I noticed we have already returned to it, but we can go much further. I just have a cat that's very moving around here.
That's fine. I was just picking up things that my cat was throwing to the floor. So cats are welcome here. My cat is the podcast mascot.
Yes. So in the same way as you said with music, that we still have, although music has gotten a totally different position in schooling and in education, there's still a long way that we can go. And I believe it's the same thing, that as we are now realizing the importance of these root, what should I say? What do I call it? Like the root of everything, the more we realize where we actually come from and who we actually are, we return to the sources. And we see the similarities, and we realize that we are actually just different sides of the same thing. I don't know what you would define mathematically, a shape that has endless sides. I don't know if there is a definition for it, but that's what we are. I believe that.
Like a diamond, many facets.
Yes, an endless diamond.
Yes, infinite diamond.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the more you try and grasp it, the more it just shifts and evolves, and it's ungraspable. But it's just it's so much fun. It's such a joy. Yeah. I love this.
Absolutely.
Cynthia.
I love that. I didn't know that about music and the root of music, but I see it like, of course, everything is related, even though they come from completely different parts of the world, because we are all one, right? So of course, the expression of oneness is going to come through in music as well. So beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, I have another cat that's just tearing down my curtains. What can you do?
Right on. Oh my gosh. Maiken, thank you so much for being a part of this. This is just,
Thank you.
and
guys.
I love how it just really kind of exploded at one point. You know, just the whole, and that's exactly why I do this. I love it. It kind of starts out like this, and then all of a sudden it goes, it's like, wee, here we go.
Absolutely.
I love it. You're like you know, on a roller coaster, like. I love it. So thank you so much, Maiken, and thank you for being our first guest today. And thank you for sharing your lovely state and all your stories and your manifestations. And yeah, so looking forward for all your next Grammys.
Yes, of course. I'll tell you, I'm excited to see what evolves from here. And I did want to say to anybody who's listening, if you feel like you want to do this, let us know. You know, all the information. If you're listening to us on Anchor, it's down below in the, I don't know, the connect with us section. And if you're listening to this on a YouTube video, all our information is always below. We would love to have guests on here who are willing to come up to this level of everything is beautiful, everything is ideal. It already is. It's not going to, it already is. And letting us, you know, celebrate that with you, just as we did today with Maiken, and how it just, it was so good.
Yeah.
Can I share one last little
Please
thing?
Please do.
Just last weekend, I've already told Cynthia about it, and I also have two cats that are in high disagreement here. So there's some sound going on.
That's fine. Special effects for the podcast, even better.
Exactly. Just some background music. We were celebrating Easter last weekend, and we were out for dinner in the night, as it is in Greece where I am, where you eat after 12. And we were on our way back at 3 a.m. Me and my partner, I decided to walk. And at one point, I didn't think it was so far. And he said, "Oh, but Maiken, it's another 10 minutes. And I thought to myself, it would be really great if we had a car right now. But I thought, okay, well, you know what? We don't have a car, but it would be really good to just get in a car. I just want to go to sleep." And then in that moment, my partner's father, there's a car, suddenly just appears on the street. And I'm like, well, hallelujah. And I'm like, okay, I didn't even see him coming. It just, there it is. Okay, that's perfect. Great. So he comes over to the other side of the street. We get in, and I'm back home and in bed in the next 10 minutes. And I'm like, this is perfect.
Out of thin air transportation.
Out of thin air transportation.
That's what it was.
Because the queen has spoken. She wanted a car.
Yep, that's how it is.
And I love it because she told me, like, the street is very small, and he would have had to come towards them in order to turn around and come from the other side. And no, it appeared. So, you know, out of thin air.
No other cars. The street was totally empty. I would have seen him. But nope.
How wonderful. You know, and we do this all the time, all day long, constantly.
Yeah, I love it.
This cat really wants to play with me right now. Jesus. I'm not entirely sure what. Oh my God, he's going to destroy my clothes.
All right. Well, thank you guys. And thank you for that perfect story to finish this with. That was awesome. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes. And we'll see everybody next week.
Yes. Thank you guys. Bye.
Take care. Bye.